Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be Home Sweet Home Alone. Let's get into it. So, in the spirit of Christmas, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Also, check out my top 25 Christmas movies of all time. I have a playlist where I review my top 25 lists that I watch every year around Christmas time. One of those about to come out. That's one of the weaker ones in the first week or so. It's going to be changed pretty soon. Other than that, let's get into this Home Alone series. Now, there's been several Home Alones. I've seen them all. 1 and 2 are classics, with Macaulay Culkin, of course, playing as Kevin McAllister. After that, they get wonky. This one in particular trumps all those other ones after the original first two. So I will pick this one as the third best. It got back to the essence of the Home Alone. They pretty much used the same exact plot and didn't veer from that, and it worked out. So we'll go with the cast. So you have Ellie Kemper plays as Pam McKenzie. Rob Delaney plays as Jeff McKenzie. Archie Yates plays as Max Mercer. He's the main character. Kenan Thompson plays as Gavin Washington. He's a real estate agent. Andy Daly plays as Mike Mercer. And Devin Rattray plays as Bud McAllister. So that was cool that they brought Buzz back. So this picks up where Pam and Jeff pretty much are going through a struggle, and Pam is the only one working in the household. They have 2 children. Jeff can't get a job, so they offer Pam's income, and they're looking to sell the house. That's where Gavin Washington comes in, and of course he's the comedic relief through the whole matter to push them to sell the house. They got a couple in there looking at the house, and of course Jeff, he doesn't want to sell his house, and he's saying everything that could go against why they would want to buy the house. Gavin's trying to kick him out and basically say, go do something else because you're messing it up. Meanwhile, the wife is not looking like, yo, what you doing? We need this. But of course, it's his house. So he goes in the house, and meanwhile, you have Max and his mom who's driving in the area, and they stop over to the open house. And so the open house is taking place, and the kids are not there. So the kids, of course, they don't know that they're trying to sell the house, and they don't know their struggle that they're going through financially. So Max is, same relationship Kevin had with his mom. That same relationship Max has with his. So they have a back and forth, and Max's mom name is Carol, and he has to use the bathroom. And when he comes out of the bathroom, he sees this bag of dolls, box of dolls, and someone told Jeff pretty much you need those old dolls that your parents had. Those dolls might be worth some money. He didn't. He looked at it like whatever. And then one of the dolls particularly had an upside. It was manufactured with an upside down head. So when Max seen the doll, Jeff was pretty much told him like, stop looking at my dolls, because it's a sentimental value from his childhood. So him and Max had a back and forth. Max wanted a soda, and Jeff didn't want to give it to him. So they start off to a bad start. Meanwhile, Max and his mom left, and before they left, they got into it, and she was pretty much saying, wait till you get home or whatever. And he's like, I don't want to go home. So, of course, back at their house, it's chaos. The families is planning a trip to go to Tokyo. And the mom booked 2 different flights. Her flight left early. And it's chaos happening all through the house. Max takes the liberty of saying, he hates his family. That scenario Kevin did. And by him doing that, he elected to sleep in the car. So this is how he misses everything. Meanwhile, Jeff is looking online for these dolls. He see the doll that he said with the funny head, manufactured head, that doll was worth 200,000. So he goes and look for the doll and it's missing. So he automatically he assumes that Max took the doll. So he remembered them mentioning their house and everything. So he goes to the house, and when he gets there, everybody's leaving, and the uncle's there, and he's pretty much asking for the mom, Carol. They said she left already, so everybody's busy. He got a chance to see the security code to the alarm, which was 1112, and they put the key underneath the mat. He's seen all that, and so it just shows how people, when they're busy, they're careless. So they leave, and then he takes it upon himself. He looks in through the window of the house and pretty much sees that that the doll's there. And so what happens is he enters the house, but he places the wrong code in the house. He pushed 2221, and so the alarm goes off, of course, and he pretty much hurry ups and leave, and he goes back. So what he eventually does is he tells the mom, Pam, hey, that doll has worth 200,000. It'll fix our problems. Where's the doll? Remember that kid that was over here with the glasses? Yeah, well, he took it. Then he breaks it down to her. So now they headed back to the house. At this point, Max is alert. He figured out he is home alone. Of course, he does all the stuff that Kevin did, ramping and running over the house, eating all the junk food and all that stuff. So this time when they go into the house, the police showed up. When the police showed up, lo and behold, it's Bud McAllister. So that was cool that they brought Bud McAllister back into the fold as a police officer. And so that was cool. They brought him in. And so they're planning on how they're going to get back to the house without being watched. Meanwhile, Carol and the Mercers, they pretty much figured out that Max is not there and they're in Tokyo. That whole process, so that they use the same plot. She's very concerned. They don't have house phones because people don't use house phones no more. So they don't know the neighbors because they just moved in like 2 months ago. So she got to get back. So she's worried about getting the first flight back. So that's pretty much her storyline right there. Max and his storyline with the shenanigans, he's setting up for war to defend his territory because he overheard Pam and Jeff talking, saying that they need this ugly boy and they're going to sell it to an old lady for 200,000. Now he's thinking they're talking about him kidnapping him, but they're talking about the doll. So that's what makes him prepare for the defend his house and everything. So of course they agree to come back later on that night, and of course that's when all the shenanigans. So I guess that part, if they do it good enough, it never gets old. Max, Jeff and Pam are really good people. It's just that, they want to salvage their family and everything like that. So they're desperate. So they're willing to do anything, go to the extreme. And so they go and get messed up. The typical, all the stuff you've seen from Home Alone 1 and 2, they no different. They get messed up just about the same. And so eventually they told Max, hey, we just need to talk. So that's when it comes clean on he thinking they trying to kidnap him. They want the doll. He pretty much said, I don't have the doll. So it clicked in their head. They did all this for nothing. And his brother had came to the house a couple of days ago, and they had the brother had a child. And it clicked in their head that the brother's kid took the doll. So once he told them that he's there by himself, they pretty much said, well, you come back with us and you call your mom and everything. And so, of course, the mom was just happy to hear from him. And when they get to the house, the little kid, he did have the doll and he tossed it to him. But those are porcelain dolls, so he can't afford to break. So they, it just was this dramatic scene where They were all reaching for the doll, and then Max was the one to eventually get the doll saved the day. The mom came and picked him up. She was, of course, she was happy to see him, and it shows like a year later, and a year later they all was having Christmas dinner together. So that was cool. So it was a decent film overall. Out of my 4-star rating system, I give it a 2 out of 4 stars. It was decent. I could see where somebody give it a 2.5, but I give it a 2 out of 4 stars. And shout out to Chase Unlimited in that new series of Kevin Hart commercials where they brought back the actress who played as the mom in Home Alone, Catherine O'Hara. They brought her back in those commercials with Kevin Hart, and she's Kevin. That's and Kevin Hart is in the credit card commercial. That's dope that they brought that out around Christmas time. So that was good marketing on their behalf with that. Other than that, subscribe to the channel. Happy holidays. Till next time.